This video is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform to make your work stand out. More on that later. Hello fellow Hunters of the Blue, and welcome to my channel and welcome to another army painting video. But this time we are moving away from the glory of the Imperial Guard and we are tackling the most complex Tyranid color scheme created by Games Workshop, Hive Fleet Typhon. This is probably the easiest and most straightforward Typhon video you are going to find. You could totally paint a whole amazing looking army with this recipe quite fast. That being said, this is a complex recipe and has lots of steps. It's not the easiest paint job out there, but I guess if you chose Hive Fleet Typhon as your color scheme, number one, you are already nuts, and two, you already know what you're getting yourself into. This video will get you extremely close to the official paint job, just using Xpress Color paints over a simple white primer. Not a single highlight was used. Thanks to Games Workshop for sending me the Leviathan box, and thanks to my hobby hero Heather Amstead, who came out with the bulk of this recipe. I just spiced it up a little bit. Let's get cracking. As you can see, we have our mini prime. In this case, I use Corax White, but if you don't have Corax White, you can either use Grey Seer or any light grey or any pure white primers. They are all going to work very well with this tutorial. The only difference is going to be that one result is going to be lighter and the other is going to be a little bit darker. And because I am lukewarm, I chose the middle. And our first step is going to be a full layer of a 1-to-1 mix of Templar White and Xpress Medium. Going to apply this initial mix of Templar White and Medium all over the miniature, covering every recess. I highly recommend when you paint these Leviathan gowns that you leave the arms separate. With that layer now dry, we're going to start adding the gradient on the limbs, and for this I'm going to use a space gray. The technique that I'm going to use is the apply and feather, but if you don't feel comfortable with applying and feathering, you can just do glazes, just thin it down with some Xpress Medium and apply several glazes. I just prefer this because it's faster. So what you have to do for this is apply it over the top half of the limbs, clean your brush and then feather out into the rest. One of the advantages of the Xpress paints is that they dry very slowly, so doing this kind of techniques, it's actually pretty easy. If you're feeling spicy, you can even add the highlight on the top section just by removing a little bit of the paint from here. With that step done, we're going to now add a little bit of darkness onto the upper limbs and also darken the main body. And for that we're going to use a mix of 2 parts Black Lotus, 1 part Stone Blue and double that of Xpress Medium, that is 6 parts of Xpress Medium. And for the body, we're just going to apply this over the main body, again just to darken this a little bit more. Also on top of the scales, we are going to leave the head untouched for now. Here on the tail, we're going to do the same as on the limbs, apply and feather out. And we don't want too much accumulation, take out the excess. And finally, to darken the limbs further, I'm just going to apply and feather. I might do another layer just to darken it down a little bit more, but I prefer to do less than more of this. With that step now finished, also note that the gun is fully painted with that mix as well. It's time to start adding color into this. And for this we're going to start with the main body, which has a purpley tone, and for this we're going to use a mix of 1 part Gloomy Violet, 1 part Deep Purple, and double the amount of Xpress Medium, that is 4 parts of Xpress Medium. I'm going to apply this over the general body like this. This will tint all of these surfaces to have a slight purpley hue. Here on the tail, the same thing we did when we applied the grey mix. We have to apply it and feather it out into the rest of the tail. I've always wanted to have my own website to showcase my work, but you see, I am the king of procrastination. But thanks to today's video sponsor, Squarespace, I finally did it. Let me show you why I love Squarespace so much with my own website. Just select one of the amazing professional templates with designs for every use case and then just tweak it to your own style. They are 100% customizable. Change your look, update content, and add features to fit your unique needs. You can make any Squarespace template do what you want so your idea, brand, or business stands out online on every device. You have so many options. I'm still tweaking things here and there. It's great fun. The possibilities I now have with this powerful engine are endless. I can design and make my own merch with them. I can sell my own products like my STLs, which I have more coming by the way. Whether you sell physical, digital, or service products, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you are ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/juanhidalgo to save 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and now back to the video. With that applied and drying, we're going to paint all of the magenta details, especially all the connective tissue and all of those details, and for this we're going to use a mix of cardinal purple, deep purple, and the same amount of Xpress medium, that is 2 parts of Xpress medium. For this I do like to use a smaller brush just for the sake of precision, because we're not going to apply highlights on the body. We need to be precise here. If these stripy things get too dark, you can light them up with just a quick overbrush with Corax White before applying this, and they will get brighter and more noticeable. On top of all of this, I'm going to apply this to the half back of the face. Apply up to here, and I'm going to feather it out. Again, if you don't feel comfortable with the feathering method, just use glazes. The result is going to be the same, it's just going to take more time. For our next step, we're going to darken down the back of the head a little bit more. For this, we're just going to use deep purple and do the same thing we've been doing all across the model. Apply, clean the brush, and feather out. For the main body of the weapon, we're going to use a mix of 1 part Gloomy Violet, 1 part Black Lotus, and 1 part Xpress Medium. Just be very careful around all of the details that are not this color so we don't contaminate them, especially if they are already painted. Not worry too much about that eye there, because I'm going to cover it over afterwards to clean it up and make it nice and shiny, but I want to be careful around the rest of the details. I want to approach the claws and the hooves now, and for this we are going to start darkening down this towards the base of the body using Black Lotus, in the same way we've been doing this. You already know the deal. Apply, clean, and feather out. Just want the base near the body really dark and the tips lighter. That way the color we are going to apply next is going to stand out and create a nice gradient. With that done, we are going to tint all of this with a red color, and for this of course we are going to use a mix of 1 part Velvet Red and 1 part Xpress Medium. Just want this to tint the surface. We don't necessarily need it in the recesses, but it's not going to do any damage if it gets there. And with that done, there is only just one major area left to tackle, and that is the scales. And for this, we're just going to go over them with a 1-to-1 mix of Stone Blue and Black Lotus. With that done, we can actually glue the gun now, and there are just 2 details left to paint. The teeth and claws and the eyes and this eye here on the weapon as well. All of those sections were cleaned up using Corax White, and now what I'm going to do is start with the eyes, and for this I'm going to use a 1-to-1 mix of Imperial Yellow and Plasma Red. And now, to finish off the model, there's just the teeth left to be painted, and what I'm going to do is use Black Lotus, but I'm not going to thin it down with Express Medium. I'm going to use water and turn it into a wash. This is the sort of consistency you're looking for, and I'm going to use what I usually call the peachy maneuver. That is, I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to wipe it with my finger. I'm going to do the same here, but I'm not just going to wipe it, I'm just going to apply it towards the bottom. The Hive Fleet Typhon color scheme seems like pure madness to do for a whole army, but it just looks so good. And with this recipe, you could paint this little fella in about 2 or 3 hours, including drying times. And if you batch paint this, you can get a full army done in surprisingly a short amount of time. I'm honestly very proud of this recipe, and I really hope you give it a try. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget that if you like my videos and want to help me make them, you can follow me on social media. You have the links to all my social media in the description below and the pinned comment of this video. Share and like this video, but most importantly, there is Patreon and channel members. Patrons and members allow me to do all the cool videos that I want to make, and most importantly, they allow me to release them all for free here on YouTube. Perks include access to an amazing Discord community full of lovely people, early access to some of the videos, and now also private one-on-one online tutorings. You have 2-tier options for those, 45 minutes and 3 hours a month. They are filling fast, so if you want to have a private tutoring with me, don't hesitate and join now. Help me and my family enjoy the list of the coolest persons in the planet, including Des, Rainer Horbach, Jose Navarro, Janner, Mark Vellenkoop, Flo, Terry Denham, Robert Smith, Terrinosaur, Will Ewig, Heather Amstead, Tommy Rockum, Paul Woodward, Stefan Franiati, Giovanni Constanza, Biom, Howard Holbit, Thomas Ustergaard, Javi Mota, Christoph Moret, Bartholomew Cahuza, Victor Domen, Nicolas Furnell, Chris, Mal Havok, Dakota M. Miller, Wesley Browning, Christopher Stemler, Gunrunner 243, Dr. Cathaber, Duna Vader, Freddy _VLNW, Ronnie Nobles, Mick Hayatoken, Angelos Alexio, Alastis, PG Mackay, Mick Gallagher, Felix Franken, Aaron Bernstein, Brendan Smith, Alfredo Phillips, Tim Uchida, Stephanie All, Nick DeMao, David Sutherland, Roger Nilsson, Oscar Jonathan Thornberg, Dan Mako Cristalios, Carlos Rivera, Jimmy Milligan, Kevin Mian, Darcy Farrar, Chris Fivey, Samuel Natius Maximus, Aaron Dell, Eamon Patton, Gareth Smith, Mark Atkinson, Mark Jarvis, Josh Simpson, Charles Armitage, G-Force, Dr. V, Mark Wolaeth, Leonard Lindemann, Kieran Murthail, and Kevin Sullers. And as for me, I will catch you in the next one. Bye!